My name is Teagan Ford. I'm 34. At Christmas dinner, my sister Riley raised her glass and toasted to the family disappointment. I smiled, clinked back, and said, "And to the ones now paying for their own streaming shopping and spa days." The room froze. Riley's smirk died. Mom's eyes widened. Dad's fork stopped. Aunt Gail choked on her wine. Only the Christmas music played on, mocking the silence. Before I tell you how that moment exposed a decade of secrets and changed everything, drop in the comments where you're watching from. It means a lot. My small Mesa apartment smelled of roast turkey and pine candles. I'd cooked all day, craving one calm holiday. They arrived late, Riley in a new coat I'd funded, Mom already judging the gravy. Then the toast. Riley stood, voice sweet and sharp. "To Teagan, the boring one who'll never shine." Laughter roared. From my family. That's when I snapped. I raised my glass. To the end of free rides. Silence. The war began. That Christmas Eve dragged on after the toast, the air thick with forced holiday cheer and the scent of overcooked turkey. My parents, Alan Ford and Donna Ford, finally settled at the table with my Aunt Gail Harper and my younger sister Riley Ford. Mom immediately took over, rearranging the serving dishes and scooping extra gravy onto plates without asking. "This needs more salt, Teagan," she said, tasting a spoonful. "Your cooking is always so plain. No flair." Dad leaned back in his chair, nodding at Riley. "At least someone here has creativity. Riley's been posting those fashion hauls online, real talent." Riley grinned, holding up a sleek leather handbag that gleamed under the string lights. "Got this last week from that boutique sale. Perfect for my influencer vibe." I knew the price tag, $800 charged to the supplementary card linked to my account. Dinner unfolded like a scripted play of their usual roles. Mom kept nitpicking every bite, comparing my mashed potatoes to the ones she made back home. "You work all day at that desk job and still can't season properly. Stability is fine, but where's the excitement?" Dad chimed in between forkfuls. "Riley's exploring opportunities. Not everyone's cut out for the corporate grind like you, Teagan. She's got vision." Riley scrolled her phone under the table, liking comments on her latest post, a spa day selfie with the caption "Self-Care Queen." To understand why their words stung so deep, you have to go back 10 years to when I first started covering for Riley. Fresh out of college, I landed a solid product manager role at a Phoenix tech firm, pulling in enough to rent my own place in Mesa. Riley, fresh from dropping out of community college, called it finding herself. It began innocently, a $50 Venmo for coffee runs that turned into $200 for Ubers. Then her phone bill hit 3 months late, and the collector called me since I'd co-signed. I paid it to avoid the hassle. Soon rent notices arrived in my mailbox. Her apartment in Tempe was cute but pricey, and her part-time gig at a boutique lasted 3 weeks. Just until my online store launches, she promised. I covered the deposit, then the monthly payments directly to the landlord. Easier than arguments. Mom would call, voice soft. "She's sensitive, Teagan." The pressure would crush her. Dad added his part over family barbecues. "Help your sister." I never had that luxury. The expenses snowballed. Riley discovered high-end spas and Scottsdale facials at $200 a pop, massages, the full package. "Stress relief," she texted, followed by the invoice. I transferred the money while eating peanut butter sandwiches for lunch. Her wardrobe exploded with online hauls from luxury sites, packages arriving at my door because her credit was shot. Designer jeans, silk blouses, limited edition sneakers, all on my dime. Streaming services piled up, premium plans for every platform shared under my login so she could binge while brainstorming ideas. Her supplementary card racked up charges, late-night takeout from trendy spots, ride shares to avoid parking fees, even a weekend wellness retreat in Sedona that cost $1,500. I saw the statements monthly, a spreadsheet of her lifestyle against my dwindling savings. My best friend, Kendall, saw the toll during our rare coffee meetups at a local cafe. She stirred her latte, eyeing the exhaustion on my face. "Teagan, this is ridiculous." Riley's a parasite sucking you dry while your family cheers her on. I defended it at first. She'll get stable soon. Kendall shook her head. There's always another excuse, the candle business that never lit, the affiliate marketing that earned pennies. When do you stop? Guilt kept me chained. Mom's calls deployed it masterfully. Riley's struggling creatively. You're the practical one, help her bloom. Dad used shame. Be grateful you have skills. Supporting blood makes you strong. Even Aunt Gail reinforced it with her sweet tone at gatherings. You're the steady rock, Teagan. We all rely on that. Meanwhile, Riley's life was curated perfection, brunches with filters, festival tickets. I funded a glowing social feed. My reality was overtime shifts, freelance gigs on weekends, eyes burning from screens until dawn just to keep her accounts active. One brutal Arizona summer, my AC broke during a heat wave. Landlord dragged his feet on repairs. I sweated in tank tops for weeks, too broke for a hotel. That same month, I covered Riley's girls' trip to a luxury resort, poolside photos captioned, "Living my best life." Kendall grabbed cheap tacos with me one evening, her expression grim. You're enabling a black hole. Your family built this system and you're the fuel. I knew she was right, but breaking free felt impossible. The manipulation was layered, emotional pleas, public praise for Riley, subtle digs at my dull path. They needed me as the provider, Riley as the star. My dreams, my exhaustion, irrelevant. By the time dessert hit the table that Christmas, the dynamics were etched in stone. Mom passed the pie, still complaining about portions. Dad toasted Riley's latest venture idea. Riley posed with her new bag for a quick story. I sat there, fork in hand, the weight of a decade pressing down. Senior year of college changed everything for me in ways I never saw coming. I was deep into my computer science program at Arizona State, pulling all-nighters on projects that actually excited me when a classmate approached with an idea that felt like lightning in a bottle. We sketched out a basic beauty app. Users upload selfies, get instant skincare recommendations based on AI analysis, partnered with local brands for affiliate sales. The prototype worked on my laptop, and a small investor group in Phoenix offered seed funding if I put in $15,000 of my own. I had exactly that in savings from summer internships and part-time coding gigs built up since high school. The plan was solid: graduate launch the app, scale it regionally. I even lined up a co-founder role with equity. Excitement kept me awake, researching algorithms for skin tone detection and negotiating brand deals over email. Then Riley hit a wall with her credit cards. She had racked up $15,000 in debt across multiple accounts, chasing luxury handbags from online flash sales, designer sunglasses during campus events, and impulse buys at pop-up shops in Scottsdale. Collection calls started flooding her phone, and one agency threatened legal action if unpaid by month's end. Riley showed up at my dorm unannounced one evening, eyes red from crying, waving printed statements like evidence in a trial. "They're going to ruin my credit forever," she sobbed, collapsing on my bed. I can't get a job with this hanging over me. I tried calming her, suggesting payment plans or consolidation loans, but she dismissed every option. "You have the money, Teagan. Just help me this once, and I'll pay you back when my jewelry line takes off." Mom got involved the next day with a tearful video call from home. "Your sister is devastated," she said, voice breaking between sniffles. "This stress is making her sick. You're graduating soon with a real job. Can't you bail her out? Family sticks together through tough times." Dad followed up during a weekend visit to campus, pulling me aside after lunch at the student union. "Leaving Riley to drown would be selfish," he stated flatly. "I sacrificed for my siblings growing up. Don't make her face collectors alone." Pressure mounted from every angle. Aunt Gail sent texts echoing the same sentiment, framing it as my duty to protect Riley's future. Friends in my circle advised cutting her off, but guilt gnawed relentlessly. Riley kept sending screenshots of threatening emails from creditors, each one escalating the urgency. I pictured her spiraling, unable to rent an apartment or land entry-level work with bad credit. The investor deadline loomed wire the $15,000 or lose the spot. One sleepless night, I transferred the full amount from my savings to Riley's accounts, paying off every card in sequence. Statements cleared overnight, and the calls stopped. Riley texted a quick heart emoji the next morning, then nothing about repayment. No thank you over family dinner the following month, no acknowledgement when I mentioned the app opportunity slipping away. The investor moved on to another team, and the prototype gathered digital dust on my old hard drive. With my cushion gone, I took on freelance coding jobs alongside classes building simple websites for local businesses, debugging apps for startups in Tempe. Nights blurred into mornings at coffee shops with laptops fueled by cheap energy drinks. Riley, debt-free, ramped up her spending immediately. She signed up for premium subscription boxes, delivering makeup quarterly, enrolled in boutique fitness classes, charging monthly fees, and treated friends to dinners at upscale spots in downtown Phoenix. Each charge hit my rebuilt supplementary card, which I'd added her to temporarily during the crisis. Mom praised Riley's confidence boost during holiday breaks, noting how she networked at events I funded. Dad nodded approval when Riley talked about potential influencer partnerships, ignoring my exhausted eyes from double shifts. Aunt Gail borrowed from Riley for her own small ventures, knowing the money traced back to me. Riley never mentioned the bailout again, treating the clean slate as her right. Her online presence grew, filtered photos from rooftop bars, stories of weekend getaways, to Flagstaff cabins, all captioned with empowerment quotes. I graduated with honors, but no launch party, no equity in a rising company. Entry-level salary covered basics, yet freelance hours stretched longer to match Riley's escalating lifestyle. She discovered subscription beauty services, monthly boxes of high-end products personalized by quizzes I paid for. Charges appeared, weekly ride shares to auditions for modeling gigs that never panned out, coffee meetups with collaborators at trendy spots. My bank app became a ledger of her whims, balanced against my ramen dinners and delayed car maintenance. The pattern solidified without discussion. Riley floated ideas: a handmade accessory shop, a beauty blog with sponsored posts, each requiring upfront costs I covered. Tools, photography equipment, domain names, all billed to me. She attended workshops on branding, flights to LA for networking, hotel stays during conferences. Promises of returns faded into silence. Mom mediated with gentle reminders. She's building something special. Your support means the world. Dad reinforced during rare visits. Steady income is your gift. Let her chase dreams. Freelance evolved into a second career, late-night bids on platforms, delivering under tight deadlines while holding my day job. Sleep became negotiable, health checkups postponed for budget reasons. Riley's world expanded, unchecked, her confidence blooming on my dime, without a backward glance at the opportunity I buried. Dessert barely touched when I acted on the impulse that had been building for years. While the family lingered over pie slices and small talk about holiday plans, I slipped my phone from the table and opened the banking app under the cover of a napkin. One by one, I removed Riley from every shared account, supplementary credit card, canceled streaming logins, changed spa membership subscription, terminated through the provider portal. Transfers stopped cold. It took less than 5 minutes, fingers steady despite the adrenaline surging through me. Riley noticed first during cleanup, reaching for her phone to check a notification and frowning at the screen. My card just declined at the drive-thru earlier, must be a glitch. She tried another app, face paling as alerts popped up for failed payments. Within seconds, texts flooded my inbox from her. Teagan, what did you do? My spa membership says expired, fix it now. Followed by voice notes, voice cracking. I have a facial booked tomorrow. People are counting on me for content. Turn it back on. She paced the kitchen, thumbs flying across the screen, sending screenshot after screenshot of error messages from luxury shopping sites and subscription services. This is embarrassing. My followers expect consistency. More messages poured in, escalating from pleas to accusations. You're sabotaging my brand. How am I supposed to create without tools? I left them unread, the vibration against my pocket, a strange mix of chaos and control. Mom cornered me by the sink as I rinsed plates, phone pressed to her ear mid-call with Riley. "What on earth possessed you to ruin Christmas like this?" she demanded, voice low but sharp enough to cut through the running water. Riley's hysterical. "She depends on those memberships for her mental health." "You're the stable one. Act like it." She rattled off examples of past favors, framing the cutoff as a personal attack on family harmony. "Holidays are sacred. Undo whatever you did before this escalates." Dad hovered nearby, wiping counters with unnecessary vigor, muttering agreement. Poor timing, Teagan. Riley's finally gaining traction online. Don't clip her wings over petty grudges. Their coordinated front felt rehearsed, a tag team routine honed over years of similar crises. Riley continued texting from the living room, now looping in group chats with cousins for sympathy. Teagan flipped out and cut me off. "Pray for me." Aunt Gail wasted no time, her call coming in before the dishes were dry. Sweetie, Riley mentioned a little mix-up with funds she cooed, tone syrupy, as always. "I promised to cover her next workshop fee to keep things smooth. Could you float me $2,000 until my Social Security check hits? It's really for her growth." She painted it as a minor favor, one that would circle back to family benefit, ignoring the pattern of loans that never returned. I let the phone ring out, setting it face down on the counter while stacking leftovers in the fridge. The screen lit up repeatedly, Riley's frantic emojis, Mom's follow-up voicemails demanding apologies, Aunt Gail's missed call, notifications stacking. For the first time, I didn't rush to respond or resolve. The apartment felt quieter despite the buzz, a weight lifting from my shoulders as I ignored the digital storm. Clearing the table became a deliberate act of detachment, scraping plates into the trash and wiping surfaces clean of crumbs and expectations. Riley stormed past, grabbing her coat and muttering about staying with a friend who understood ambition. Mom trailed her to the door, still on the phone, negotiating with the spa, directly promising manual payments soon. Dad shook his head at me. "This will blow back on all of us." As the front door clicked shut behind them, my phone finally quieted to a single new message from Kendall. Heard the fallout through the grapevine. "Proud of you for drawing the line, stay strong." No lectures, no questions, just solid support that grounded me in the empty space they left. I read it twice, then set the device on silent, pouring a glass of water and standing at the window overlooking the quiet Dobson Ranch streets. The relief washed over me in waves, unexpected and profound. No immediate fixes required, no explanations owed tonight. Their voices echoed in my mind. Riley's demands, Mom's guilt trips, Aunt Gail's schemes, but muted, distant. I breathed deeply, the apartment mine again, decisions mine alone. For once, the silence wasn't tense. It was liberating. Hours passed in that calm, tidying the last traces of the evening and settling on the couch with a book I'd meant to read for months. Notifications remained unread, a deliberate choice, rather than avoidance. The pattern they relied on had cracked, and the lightness settling in my chest confirmed it was the right fracture. A week passed quietly after the holiday chaos settled into routine. My phone stayed mostly silent, a novelty I savored while focusing on work projects and evening walks around the neighborhood. Then Sawyer Reed, a former colleague from my early days at the Phoenix tech firm, rang one afternoon during my lunch break. "Hey, Teagan," he started, voice casual but edged with concern. "Heard through mutual friends you had a rough Christmas. Everything okay on your end?" I hesitated at first, stirring salad at my desk, but his tone felt genuine. Someone outside the family loop who might understand office politics and personal drains. We had collaborated on app integrations years back, sharing late-night debugging sessions and coffee runs. Over the call, I unloaded the decade-long story, starting with the college bailout, moving through endless subscriptions and charges, culminating in the dinner cutoff. Sawyer listened without interrupting, occasional signaling he followed every detail. When I finished, he exhaled slowly. That's a heavy load. Your secret's safe with me, I won't breathe a word. Relief flickered as I thanked him, ending the conversation on a lighter note about industry updates. He promised to ping if any remote gigs matched my skills, a small bridge to normalcy. The call left me lighter, validated by an outsider's perspective without judgment. 2 days later, Mom's number flashed on my screen during a team meeting voicemail waiting by the time I stepped out. Teagan, we need to talk about your outburst, she launched without greeting. Cutting Riley off mid-holiday. She's devastated and now her opportunities are stalled. Sawyer mentioned the full history, college debt, all of it. Why air family business to strangers? Shock froze me in the hallway. Every private detail I shared echoed back in her recap, twisted to paint me as the villain. I called Sawyer immediately after work, catching him on his commute. Did you tell my mom everything? Silence stretched before he admitted it. She reached out, worried, after hearing rumors from Aunt Gail's circle. I thought transparency would help mediate, didn't mean harm. His apology sounded sincere, but the damage rippled. Mom had weaponized the information in follow-up texts, quoting my confessions as proof of long-held resentment. During that same conversation, Sawyer dropped another bombshell while trying to smooth things over. Look, your mom confessed something to me too, hoping I'd persuade you. A couple years back, she called HR pretending to be you, said there was a family emergency and you needed a payroll advance ASAP. She even used your employee ID and forged your e-signature on the request form. They approved $5,000 taken straight from your next 3 paychecks. I saw the digital approval trail when I was reconciling old payroll reports last year. The revelation hit like ice water. That timeline lined up perfectly with Riley's makeup artistry certification courses, the ones I thought I'd paid for out of pocket. Mom had impersonated me, hijacked my income stream, and risked my job without a single word. Sawyer explained the advance had been fully repaid through automatic deductions, $1,660 sliced from each of my next 3 paychecks. I never noticed because I was drowning in freelance deadlines, living off coffee and credit, and just assumed the lower net pay was from taxes or a benefits adjustment. She swore it was a one-time thing to help Riley get certified, he added, but the pattern screamed otherwise. Pieces clicked into place on the drive home, Mom's uncanny timing whenever I got a raise, Dad's offhand comments about company flexibility, Aunt Gail's requests that always landed right after payroll. The family wasn't just leaning on me, they'd built a quiet system with Riley as the loud distraction and Mom running silent ops behind the scenes. Sawyer's betrayal, though unintentional in his mind, exposed the full web. That night in my apartment, I pulled up old pay stubs in my email. There, it was 3 consecutive stubs with a line item labeled Payroll Advance Repayment, $1,667. I'd scrolled past it every time, too exhausted to question. The system wasn't just Riley's lifestyle, it was coordinated extraction justified as love engineered to keep me tethered. Mom's call earlier wasn't shock, it was damage control armed with my own words. Sawyer texted later promising silence from now on and offering job references if I ever needed them. I replied with a polite thanks, then archived the thread. Trust closed. The insight crystallized: every member had a role, parasites in a familial ecosystem where I was the host. Recognition didn't bring rage, it brought clarity, a map of boundaries to enforce permanently. 3 months flew by in a blur of code reviews and investor pitches. The Beauty AI app finally launched at a major tech conference in Scottsdale, held in a sleek resort ballroom packed with industry pros and demo stations glowing under spotlights. I stood near the main stage in a tailored navy suit, nerves buzzing despite the polished exterior, with my boyfriend Blake Ellis and Kendall by my side for moral support. Blake squeezed my hand during setup, whispering encouragement, while Kendall adjusted my name badge, her presence a steady anchor throughout the frantic preparations. We had rebuilt the concept from scratch. After the college lost smarter algorithms for real-time skin analysis, seamless integrations with e-commerce partners, user privacy baked in from day one. Beta testers raved in early feedback and venture capital flowed once I proved traction with prototypes. Kendall joined late-night strategy sessions at my apartment brainstorming marketing angles and connecting me to her network of designers. Blake handled logistics, booking demo slots and rehearsing my pitch until it flowed naturally. Their involvement turned solo grind into collaborative momentum. As attendees filtered in for the keynote, I scanned the crowd from backstage, heart sinking when familiar faces appeared near the front rows. Riley led the pack in a flashy outfit, sequined top, and designer jeans that screamed recent acquisition, likely financed through high-interest loans or friends' generosity. Mom followed, clutching a program, while Dad trailed with Aunt Gail, all settling into seats marked reserved somehow. Kendall spotted them too, leaning close. Deep breaths. This is your moment. Riley wasted no time networking, flashing smiles at nearby executives and handing out business cards printed with her influencer consultant title. She approached a group of brand reps, gesturing animatedly. My sister works in an office pushing papers all day, but I'm the creative force behind trends. Laughter followed her exaggeration, the group nodding as she name-dropped collaborations that existed only in her imagination. Dad overheard from his seat, chuckling. Waste of money, these fancy events. Teagan could have saved on tickets. Blake stayed glued to my elbow during mingling breaks, introducing me to potential partners, while Kendall circulated with tablets showing live demos. She fielded questions, effortlessly redirecting praise to the app's features and my role in development. Riley intercepted one demo station posing for selfies with the interface. This aligns perfectly with my content strategy, she told a curious attendee. I inspire the everyday user. Kendall rolled her eyes, subtly pulling me aside for a quick hydration break. The program progressed smoothly. Panel discussions on AI ethics, competitor showcases, audience polls via the conference app. Mr. Knox, the lead investor and MC for our slot, took the podium with commanding presence, hyping the next reveal. Our flagship launch today redefines personalized beauty, he announced, slides transitioning to app screenshots. Backstage, I smoothed my jacket, Blake, offering a final thumbs up as Kendall whispered final notes on talking points. Riley continued her circuit, cornering a journalist with tales of family support fueling innovation. Teagan handles the boring back-end stuff, I bring the vision to life. Dad nodded approval from afar, muttering to Mom about entry fees being overpriced nonsense. Aunt Gail snapped photos for her social feed, captioning previews of the exciting family outing. Kendall intercepted a wandering Riley near our booth, steering conversation to neutral topics, while I prepped slides. Tension built as Mr. Knox wrapped his intro, gesturing toward the wings. Please welcome the brilliant mind who turned a simple idea into a million download potential, the founder and CEO, Teagan Ford. Lights dimmed for the video reel, my professional headshot flashing alongside equity breakdowns and launch metrics. Gasps rippled through the family section, programs fluttering to laps. Kendall cheered loudest, Blake filming the moment on his phone for posterity. I stepped onto the stage amid thunderous applause, delivering the prepared speech on innovation and user empowerment, every slide reinforcing my central role. Mr. Knox handed over the microphone for Q&A, fielding questions about scalability and partnerships, while I expanded on technical details. Riley attempted to stand, perhaps to interject, but Mom pulled her down with a sharp tug. The family remained pinned in place, expressions shifting from confusion to realization as metrics highlighted my contributions alone. Q&A wrapped up smoothly amid enthusiastic follow-ups from venture firms. Post-event networking dragged under fluorescent lights, industry contacts exchanging cards and scheduling demos. Blake navigated the crowd with me, introducing key investors, while Kendall managed a swarm of press requests at our booth. The family lingered near the exit, Riley whispering furiously to Mom, Dad scanning the room as if searching for an escape. Eventually, they approached Riley, forcing a smile. Congrats, I guess. Didn't know you owned so much. I offered polite nods, steering toward the parking lot where my SUV waited. Ride home. They accepted without protest, piling in silently, Riley's shotgun parents and Aunt Gail in back. The drive through Scottsdale's evening traffic stretched in heavy quiet radio off city lights blurring past windows. Kendall texted updates from her Uber behind us, Blake coordinating dinner plans for the team. Halfway to Mesa, I broke the silence at a red light. This changes everything. No more financial support, no interventions, no expectations. I'm independent now fully. Riley spun in her seat. You can't just, I continued calmly. Accounts stay closed, decisions are mine alone. Mom started a plea from the back, but Dad's hand on her arm silenced it. Aunt Gail stared out the window, lips pressed thin. Pulling into their neighborhood, I parked at the curb. Last ride. Take care. They exited without words, doors shutting with final thuds. Back in my apartment, I opened contacts and blocked every number. Riley, Mom, Dad, Aunt Gail. One tap each screens, confirming the severance. Kendall arrived soon after with takeout Blake, joining via video call from his place. We toasted the launch over noodles, laughter filling the space their absence left. A year on consequences unfolded without my involvement. Riley bounced between odd jobs, retail shifts, delivery gigs, unable to sustain influencer dreams on minimum wage. Creditors circled her borrowed wardrobe, repossession, stripping the glamour. Mom and Dad listed their spacious home, downsizing to a modest 2-bedroom condo in a quieter Mesa complex, equity, covering debts, but little else. Aunt Gail's side ventures collapsed under unpaid loans. Bankruptcy filings, public record. My world expanded in contrast. The app hit 2 million users, revenue streams, funding expansions into wellness features. Blake moved in our routines, blending seamlessly morning runs, weekend hikes in the superstitions. Kendall became family by choice, hosting game nights with colleagues who celebrated milestones without strings. Team retreats in Sedona, equity bonuses, board seats all built on merit, not obligation. Dinners now meant chosen company, Blake grilling steaks on the patio, Kendall mixing cocktails, co-workers sharing industry gossip. Laughter echoed genuine support, reciprocal. Travels included a conference in Austin, a beach getaway in San Diego, funded by success shared with those who uplifted. The lesson crystallized through lived contrast: family isn't blind duty, it's mutual respect or necessary distance. Their struggles surfaced occasionally through distant mutual contacts. Riley's eviction notice, parents' budget meals, Aunt Gail's yard sales, but intervention never tempted. Boundaries held firm, peace earned. Happiness rooted in authenticity, surrounded by Blake's steady partnership. Kendall's fierce loyalty, colleagues' camaraderie, the family I selected. To everyone who listened to the end, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your time means the world. The real takeaway. Blood doesn't entitle exploitation, protect your peace. Build your circle wisely. Drop your thoughts below, ever cut ties for sanity. How did it change you? Like, share, subscribe for more real stories. See you next time.